Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. In today's topic, this Anglo adjacent Polish male takes this cap that was given to him by this U.S. Open, the tennis player. He took it away from this boy, and then he made the usual excuses, as some do. And then there was also several dynamics in this also. So as in this picture, you see this particular Anglo adjacent Polish male, and he grabbed his hat in this little image. Now, one of the things also that was not talked about overall enough or was minimized is on the left side is his wife, his trophy wife, that wouldn't even look at him if he wasn't a millionaire. She wouldn't even take half a glimpse at him. And so many males that have low self-confidence that without some type of monetary resources, some type of social resources, some type of political resources, they wouldn't even be looked at. Oh, that hurts some male's feelings, the one this applies to, right? Because that's low self-confidence, right? On that. So let me go ahead and start, and let me just go ahead and share my screen on this, because definitely has several dynamics in this as well. Where should I start? Okay, let me start right here. Make sure you can see this. So I'm trying to make this a quick show on this one. So this particular Anglo adjacent Polish CEO who snatched the boy's hat at the U.S. Open says he made a huge mistake. See, when they are confronted different times, then they're like chameleons as well. They try to make all kind. They'll change their colors and go toward the wind here and change over that direction. Do everything they can to either not admit mistakes or try to deflect. It's naturally ingrained. It is coded in certain type of Anglo adjacent and certain ones within certain parts within Americanism, predominant culture type personnel. The one this applies to on that. Unless it's talking about Black Americans, then it's like, oh, they ain't confused then, right? So the thing about it is, on this picture, you see right here this Anglo adjacent Polish male. He grabs the hat of this little Anglo boy on the right side, and the gentleman right here is signing the little tennis balls and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. That's great and everything. So the story goes that this particular Anglo adjacent man, Polish man, who was caught on camera snatching a hat off a young boy at the U.S. Open, has said he made a huge mistake after footage of the incident went out. I mean, he got caught. This guy, Sizarek, a Polish Anglo person, chief executive at a paving firm, said he was convinced this tennis star Kamil Majorek had been passing his hat in his direction. Let me read this again. Sizarek, this Polish Anglo male chief executive at a paving firm, said he was convinced. He said he was convinced the tennis star Kamil Majorek had been passing his hat in his direction. Oh, it's something ingrained and coded on certain ones, man. They are the deflection masters. He said he knows he did something that seemed like consciously collecting it. Wait a minute. I know I did something that seemed like consciously collecting a memento from a child. He wrote in a statement, "This wasn't my intention," because he got caught. But it doesn't change the fact that I hurt the boy and disappointed the fans because he got caught. The video taken during Majorek's match on Thursday showed the tennis player offering this cap to the child before Sizarek appears to take it. He took the dang hat. Versions of the clip were shared widely on social media, prompt criticism of Sizarek's actions. This grown Anglo adjacent male, this 50-year grown Anglo adjacent male, Polish male, wrote on social media on Monday, "I would like to unequivocally apologized to the injured boy, Anglo boy, his family, as well as all the fans and the players himself, because he got caught. He added that he had given the hat back to the boy and hoped that it had at least partially repaired the damage that was done. Majorek, 29, who had just won his match against Russian ninth seed Karen Hazanov, when the incident unfolded, told the BBC he believed he did what most athletes would do in this kind of situation, adding he hoped the boy and his family had a great day. He early indicated to this particular entity that he felt there had been some kind of confusion. I was pointing, given the hat, but I had a lot going on after the match, after being super tired and super excited for the fans. So he did a politically correct move. But the point is, I just want to show this part first, because we see the video, you see the excuses that he was making here. The 50-year-old grown Anglo adjacent male that took the hat from the little Anglo boy. And this, I said, server dynamics. So I'm trying to make this soon. I'm trying to make this quick. Karen Hashanov. Karen. So you know that word, right? People love using that word. Oh my, Karen, to describe a certain type of woman within, I guess, Panama-based culture, which usually that's not broken down like that. They just say in general, Anglo woman who has the audacity to have a certain type of privilege, and many of them do, right? They are also the super masters of manipulation and chameleon tears. I don't use the word Karen whatsoever, because there are numbers of people named Karen. Because again, if people walk around calling somebody Keisha 1,000 different times, right? Or if numbers of Anglo personnel were walking around some other cultures calling Keisha here, Laquita here, Tanya here, over and over and over again, oh, some people ain't gonna like that, right? And this situation, Karen, right, was just Russian tennis player. So how you gonna explain that situation? This is why supremacists are brilliant, because they thrive off chaos, right? So let me stop that. And so let me go ahead and share my screen and what in quick little few seconds of what you want to call it, the video. And let's see if the tennis player was given the hat to him, the grown Anglo male or Anglo adjacent male. Give me a second here. Let me go right here. Okay, here we go. Now, make sure you can see this. Okay. So let's see here. The little Anglo adjacent Polish male on the left side, the little Anglo boy on the right side, and the gentleman on the tennis player right here in the middle. See, he signed the ball, the little yellow big old ball looking thing. The little Anglo boy, he's happy. Let's see if the little the 50-year-old grown Anglo adjacent male, let's see if he was telling the truth, and the gentleman, the tennis player, was given the hat to him. Hat to him? See that? Oh, let me let it play. And remember I said, server dynamics, look over here. That's his wife. She's sitting there smiling, right? Bennett trophy wife. She's sitting there smiling. She saw it happen, right? But she'll play the victim, because that's what many of them do. They play the victim. She's sitting there smiling and cheesing, hopping in stuff, and he hopping in. Look, and she ain't saying, no, get that hat back. Nope, she's sitting there smiling, right? Just play one more time. So let's see again if the tennis player is going to give his hat to him, the little Anglo-Polish male first, right? Let's see that. Oh, whoa. So, but you didn't see what you saw, right? The little Anglo boy's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's supposed to be mine. That's supposed to be mine. And again, his wife, right? Look at his wife. Not paying like she don't know any better. Right? See how they go. See? But you didn't see what you actually saw, right? It was inside, it was right there what you saw. Right? That's why I said serve dynamics. The wife right here, the little Anglo wife, taking a picture of herself, cheesing it down, stuff like that, with her little silly little childish type of young male mentality type of husband, right? He's supposed to be a millionaire. He's supposed to know better, not because he's a millionaire, right? Because making money does not give you logical common sense. That list goes long on that. So again, see, they can play, see, she can play chameleon tears. See, depending on how things go with this, if this doesn't blow away soon, she might end up eventually divorcing him. And they got some kids, whatever it is, and she end up Godzilla divorcing him and Godzilla child supporting him, right? And stuff like that. She may already have that plan already, because so many numbers of males that have this kind of money, they are so naive, with small exceptions. They actually think that numbers of women like them for them. And all they want to do is get some kids out of them. And then when they tired of dealing with them, most of them will Godzilla divorce, Godzilla child support, right? Or kind of separate themselves emotionally from them and physically relate to any type of intimacy, right? It's like the same clock playbook. And many males don't get it because numbers of males is gullible. So just because you make more money don't mean you have common logical sense. So let me go ahead and continue on this, because it's not going to be a long show whatsoever. Hold on for a second. I'll play that. Let me show. All right, hold on for a second. Now let's see what he said here. Shezarek. Let's see what he says now. And let me make sure you can see that. Make sure my mute is off. Okay, good. In connection with the incident that occurred during the Camille Majorek match at the U.S. Open, and today is September the 1st, 2025, he would like to unequivocally apologize to the young Anglo boy, his family, all the fans, and the player himself. He takes full responsibility, because he got caught, for my extreme poor judgment and the hurtful actions. It was never my intent to steal away a prize memento from this young Anglo boy. I became caught up in the heat of the moment and the joy of the victory, making the deflection of excuses that's DNA coded. And I believe Majorek was handing a hat to me given to my sons. Let's read this again. And I believe Majorek was handing a hat to me to give to my sons, who had previously asked for autographs. Regardless of what I believe was happening, the actions I took hurt the young boy and disappointed the fan. Do you see the excuses that certain types of Anglo-adjacent ones do? The ones this applies to. It is very difficult for numbers of them to sit there and admit when they're wrong, because they're ego-driven. Just like certain type of males within certain post-autonomous cultures, one it applies to. It's hard for them to admit when they're wrong. And especially don't let it be something that they know they did toward the Black American, and they'll start making all kind of excuses if they can try to get out of it and start saying they got black friends, as if there's no coons and sellouts, so they can stop playing that bull crap little tactic, right? He said, I have sent the hat back to the boy and extended my sincere apologies to his family. I hope at least to a small extent I was able to repair the harm I caused, because he got caught. I also want to state clearly, neither I nor my trophy wife, nor my sons commenting on this situation. I nor my wife nor my sons commented on this situation on social media or on any other platform. We did not hire any law firms regarding this matter. For what? What is the other person gonna do? Right? They know what they're doing. Personnel is giving commentary. Personnel is giving their thought pattern on something he did wrong. Right? You start getting people that start doing stuff like that, then that personnel need to be debarred. Right? Because then you sit there, you're like, this is it's called First Amendment on that for certain type of situations. So regarding this matter, all statements appearing online accredited to us were false and were not authored by us or a representative, whatever that's supposed to mean. For years, my wife and I have been involved, watch the deflection, watch the pulling the sympathy card, and supporting children and young athletes. But this incident has shown me that a moment of inattention can undo years of work and support. It is painful, but a necessary lesson in humility. Going forward, that's some of the favorite Anglo adjacent words and certain words within certain parts of economics culture in America. Going forward, right? You don't go forward without learning from the past, right? Going forward, I will engage even more actively in initiatives that support children and youth, and I will take actions against violence and hate. You see what this fool just did? You see, this is what certain ones do because it's DNA encoded. I would rather for that person else to stay a Klan member within certain parts of Americanism or have a Klan-like mentality of certain other places instead of try to play idiotic little tactics like this, right? He said he believed that only through actions can I rebuild the trust I have lost. Once again, I apologize to everyone I let down because he got caught, right? So let me stop that, right? But again, you did see what you saw, what he did, and his little trophy wife did. So again, I'm trying to make this quick show a little bit, but it's just I want to put this as a timepiece purpose, right? Because many of them Anglo adjacent or Anglos or certain ones within certain parts of Panamanian culture in America, the ones applies to have it ingrainedness of playing victimhood, committing tactics when it's convenient for them, but let Black Americans do some stuff or make some complaints against racial racism, hatred that's been going on for centuries. Oh my goodness, they're always making excuses. Oh, okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. Again, this is not going to be a long show on this one. What I want to play again here. Oh, I did that one there. I did not show that already. Hold on for a second. Let me just play this other quick video for a second. All right, make sure you can see this.
Instead of admitting he was wrong and returning the hat, Piotr Szczerek chose to double down on his arrogant and narcissistic move. In this video, we reveal Piotr Szczerek's shocking response after the US Open incident.
And I'm utilizing this as a fair uses, doctrine, and commentary purposes.
The Polish millionaire and CEO of Drogbrook snatched a signed hat from Kamil Micrzak's hands at the US Open.
But you don't really see what you see, right? Because according to him and his little white lies, well, I thought that he was trying to give the hat to me first. When the video obviously showed quite different.
Following the incident, his company scored just 2 stars on GoWork.
And being in Poland, right? Way over there. Just like any other places, there's some good Polish people and probably some bad ones, right? Not probably. Just like in other countries, people have some good ones, have some bad people, right? On that situation. And someone probably showed him, man, what are you doing? You don't sit there and do stuff like this on a gigantic world stage like this, especially in the US Open. You don't do stuff like that. And remember, I said server dynamics also, because you said, wait a minute, that little Anglo boy, what are you doing? That is a little Anglo boy. You don't do that to another Anglo. What's wrong with you? Now, if it would have been a little Black boy, we probably could have made some little more illogical irrationalization and stuff like that. And some people would have been, because so much hatred going on toward American Blacks in certain parts within Americanism, the place that people that applies to. Well, oh my goodness. Well, he should have did something. Well, he should have said something. We should have sit there and grabbed the guy tennis player's shoulder first. He's just making excuses. His parents, his probably Black dad's probably not as like anyway. I mean, you see how they do stuff, right? Because it's ingrained to make excuses.
With thousands of critical comments. Additional negative reviews also appeared directly on the company's website, all sparked by his tone-deaf statement and arrogant behavior.
Now, it's good that he was called out big time, right? Now, it's good as well that the Mazurek, that, make sure, hold on for a second.
Happy ending.
That, again, like you're saying, this is good that came out of this situation, that Mazurek found, had people, whoever found the boy and made this right.
At the U.S. Open controversy, Polish tennis star Kamil Majerzyk has tracked down the young boy who was left devastated after his sign cap was snatched away during the U.S. Open 2025. Majerzyk personally met the boy, gifted him another cap, and added his autograph, a gesture that quickly turned the story into a feel-good moment for tennis fans worldwide. But the backlash against the man who took the cap hasn't slowed down. The fan has been identified online as Piotr Szczerek, CEO of the Polish paving company Drogbruk.
Again, that picture after the hat was put in the bag and everything. Look at his wife, trophy wife, smiling, got the camera and everything. And this little fool don't even realize that unless this fades away, or eventually his trophy wife gonna sit there and Godzilla divorce him and Godzilla child support him, right? Because hypergamy is true, is very real. Be it certain parts of America, which is the headquarters of this kind of stuff, or other different countries who are picking up these type of habits, right? And stuff like that. And many numbers of males are so gullible and naive, they don't even see what eventually ends up happening because they refuse to see those signs on that. So the last thing, one of the last things I think one of the last things I wanted to show. Let me make sure here. Or it's one. I think it's one other thing. Yes, this right here. Well, you know what? This is a real quick one. Remember, I said the trophy wife, right? Who is Ann Szczerek, CEO's wife, under scrutiny amid U.S. Open fallout? No, I mean it's a little bit on that, right? Because again, she can claim crocodile or chameleon tears. Right? I didn't know any better. When the big old giant cameras of folks is looking at her, smiling and laughing at their little piece of crap, little Anglo adjacent husband, right? Took that cap away from that boy. She said nothing. She could say, no, put that back, right? So the thing about it is, and Szczerek, the wife of the Polish millionaire, this guy is under public scrutiny after her husband was filmed at the 2025 U.S. Open snatching a signed cap meant for the little Anglo boy and placed it in her bag. So she had to open the bag up herself as well, knowing that the cap was not for them, right? And she said nothing whatsoever. The video went viral, sparking global outrage and bringing attention to both their business and private lives. Following the incident, a statement attributed to Anna Szczerek surfaced online defending the situation and mocking online antics, which was met with backlash and what has since gone viral. But it was found out the poster had admitted that statement was fabrication. See, look at why his wife is on the left side, right? See that trophy wife, and he's gonna get screwed over, right? If this doesn't fly over this stuff right here, or eventually she's like, you know what? No, because this kind of stuff, you know, it may be brought up every so often, which ought to be good, right? On that, because again, however numbers of Anglo adjacent ones and certain ones within primary predominant culture, Anglo ones, when they do look like anti-American black hatred, they hope things just kind of smooth over a little bit. But at the same time, how many times they bring up OJ? Every so often they bring up that. Or they had the nerve to bring up Juicy Smollett, right? The guy who was a should we say part of the turn lifestyle category, right? And he lied because they said he was jumped on by these two Anglo personnel, but they found out they was two Nigerian males or two Nigerian males, I think it was. But how many people just kind of glossed over that part? Or one of those places over there in Africa that he had hired wherever to do that stuff. But the point is, he is part of a certain section of alternative lifestyle category, right? But they try to bring that up, act like, oh, he's part of the black culture. The hell he is. Just because you have some skin of black don't mean you are part within the black Americanist. It is a mindset, not selloutism, not coonism. So people go with that game, right? Why it matters. The footage and subsequent backlash underscore how quickly corporate reputations can unravel in the digital era when executives' personal missteps surface publicly, they often become inseparable, tied to the professional roles, undermining trust in the business, and in some cases harming financial performance. News outlets report a swift wave of online criticism aimed at the Shizurex, accompanied by a noticeable decline in the company's employer review ratings after the spread. Such incidents are far from isolated. In recent years, examples have ranged from Uber CEO Travis Kalanick, again, one of those type of Anglo adjacent, right? But blame black people, black Americans doing this and doing that. See how the game goes, right? In a 2017 confrontation with a driver over fare changes, to the fallout surrounding astronomer CEO Andy Byron's widely publicized Coldplay kiss cam, right? When this guy and with his wife, either he was married or both of them was married, right? But they did a little thing. How dumb is that to sit there and be up there in a place where it can easily have somebody can eat? It don't take but half a second for that camera to sit in a point in one direction. It just happened to be that person, right? So to be an astronomer, you can't be no dumb dummy, right? In general, right? In general. And then you saw the person he was doing his little extracurricular activity. He's like, oh my goodness. And y'all sitting there doing that stuff in public like that? Wow. So all the stuff to say is like, who is Anne Sidgwick? Anne Sidgwick, also known as Anna Mokna, Anglo-adjacent, Sidgwick is a Polish entrepreneur and philanthropist active in arts and education initiatives. She founded or co-founded Drugbruck in 1999, along with her little Anglo-adjacent husband, a company known for supporting sports programs of young athletes. Beyond business, Anne is also an avid tennis player. She competes in the women's leagues and in the fourth KTT league, where she and doubles partner some face male opponents. You hear some feminists in there a little bit? I smell feminism in there. I don't want all that. So what the people are saying in the same interview, the couple highlight their commitment to philanthropy. You can see that yourselves. It's still all over deflection, still not making her accountability. Sedgwick has apologized on Facebook, saying, in part, for me, this is a painful but necessary lesson in humility. This is why I will be even more actively involved in initiatives supporting children and youth and in efforts against violence and hate. You see how they deflect because it is ingrained. It is in DNA encoded ingrainment. What happens next? Since the incident, Anna has continued to keep a low profile on social media and has yet to comment. The US Open controversy continues to dominate social media, raising questions about how it might impact the couple's company, how it might impact their couple's company and reputation. Right? Of course, she's being quiet on that. And remember, I said before too about some other dynamics. This is also a situation that happened at the US Open between this black woman named Townsend and this Latvia that most people like, where the freak is a Latvia country at, right? But this was a situation that happened. All right, hello. Hope you can hear me. So this one play this last particular thing. As I said, this situation, there was several dynamics at the U.S. Open as well. Besides what we have been talking about already about that Anglo-adjacent Polish deflector, right? And what he did. Now, and his wife, his trophy wife, that's keeping very quiet, right? Because again, that little silly little millionaire husband as he is, he's so silliness and has such low confidence. He don't understand if he wasn't a millionaire, she would not look his direction. So in this situation, another situation, if I'm gonna close out the show, is this right here that happened with, again, this black woman, Townsend, and this particular another Anglo type of adjacent white woman. And how many of them have a hardcore hatred toward black women in America, but at the same time, numbers of Sister of Chaos members having hatred, a type of pseudo hatred toward black males, right? And feminism is in the laughing because there are certain numbers of black women in America, the ones it applies to, who are picking up these Anglo feminism traits. And then they sit there and think that black males are supposed to keep settling for this. And so when they go travel in different places, not because they want to get married, some of them do, some of them don't, right? I don't go into all that. So this right here. So the Latvia woman on the left side, she's arguing with Townsend on the right side and stuff like that. And I'm glad that the black woman walked away because the little Anglo woman, the little Anglo adjacent Latvia Anglo woman adjacent, she could have been sitting there trying to bait her. But what happened is that she got whopped in tennis. And how dare this little Negro black woman beat her in tennis? Oh, they don't like that whatsoever, right? And you look at this, you look at her and said, a man that deal with her, he's got to have extreme low self-confidence in himself. And there's quite a number of Anglo-adjacent low confidence males, just like there's certainly quite a number of males within the predominant culture once applies to have low self-confidence gigantically, right? Of some of the people they married on that. What happened with this situation was because she got whooped up in tennis, and then she was calling the black woman that who whooped her up in that tennis, call her, you had no class, you have no education, and stuff like that. And what do again? Certain numbers of one do, they start making excuses on that situation. So she started talking about how, hold on, let me see. I think you see this right. 3 days after her viral exchange with Townsend, with Jelena, whatever it is, Ostapinko has taken to Instagram to clarify some of her comments and apologize. Ostapinko, the number 25 seed, was upset by the unseeded American in straight sets during the second round of the 2025 U.S. Open on Wednesday. I'm going to all that. So the thing about it is, afterward, Townsend told such and such place that Ostapinko had started to attack her personally, following her the laws. She told me I had no class, I had no education to see what happens when we get outside the U.S. Oh my, boy, that sounds some certain kind of words, doesn't it? And what do certain type of Anglo-adjacent ones who know they are, the ones who do this, just like certain ones who are the masters of deflection and victimhood situations, certain ones within the predominant culture, the ones obliged to. So what she did was saying on Saturday, Ostapinko clarified, right? That means, trying to make some kind of excuses. At least some of my comments on Instagram, the Latvian, that most people couldn't even point to where the freak a Latvian country is at. They can't even pronounce that, most of them, let alone see it on a geography map. She's 28-year-old, said that English was not her first language. She deflection. And that one her comments, the one about Thompson having no education, was not what she meant. Right? I want to apologize for some of the comments or things I said during my second round singles match. English is not my native language, so when I said education, I was speaking about what I believe as tennis adequate. So she confused education with tennis adequate, right? And what she was saying. But I understand how the words I'll use could have offended many people beyond the tennis court. Ostapinko said, I appreciate the support as I continue to learn and grow as a person and a tennis player. Goodbye, New York. I look forward to being back next year. See, the excuses are very wild these days, right? But again, excuses by certain numbers of adjacent type of Anglo personnel, just like certain type of excuses from certain type of personnel within certain parts of the Anglo predominant culture within America, the one it applies to. So the thing about it is, unfortunately, many numbers of American blacks that are so not understanding of the games that's continuing to keep going on, right? Because American blacks have the greatness of the understanding, being so open with people, but at the same time, the opposite have been played so much in society. And so in this situation right here, get back to this thing before I close out, is that it's interesting how this particular Anglo adjacent guy, he's supposed to be a millionaire, Polish guy, made excuses for what he did to this Anglo boy. Because again, some people are telling him, what are you doing? You never do anything like that to another Anglo personnel, especially on a scene like a worldwide stage like this. You never do that, right? He got caught and started making excuses. But then his wife, his trophy wife, his Anglo adjacent Polish wife, you can almost smell trophy wifeness in him or her. You can smell it, and you can smell his ignorance. And they got a couple of kids, wherever it is, and she is going to Godzilla child support him and Godzilla divorce him if this stuff doesn't fade away. And she's probably gonna still do it eventually, right? Because she might possibly taught him in the first place, right? So I wouldn't have no sympathy whatsoever. But again, she can do crocodile tears. She can be like, well, I didn't know any better. Doing the people don't know the game. Right? Because they're also the master of the deflection on that situation. And see, both of them, they'll try to do some they was trying to do some wonder twins activate. Also, people know about this. Hold on for a second. Ah, shucks. I know he's gonna do that. Give me a second. I gotta do something else here. Sometimes this stuff happens when you're playing certain good stuff. Okay, that's not letting me play. So let me play this last little thing here. See, this is what they were trying to do. They was trying to do some Wonder Twins activation. Oh, give me a second. That's not what I want to put. Give me a second here. Wonder Twins. Give me one moment. Where's the Wonder Twins thing? Here we go. Wonder Twin powers activate. Well, no. Don't be trying to do that. All right. See, they were trying to do some Wonder Twins activate, try to deflection, right? When they got caught. Oh, well, no. Whoa. Hey, let's do some Wonder Twins activate. What do you mean? Hold on. That's what they're trying to do. Wonder Twin powers activate. No. None of the activation stuff. No. You know what you did. No. So they try to do some quick deflection and So I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.